Hey everyone, Lee here from the 3D Modeler. Welcome back. Want to turn your AI concept into a professional 3D model? In today's tutorial, I will walk you through my complete workflow for modeling this sleek production-ready sofa, from initial concept to final 3D model. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials like this one. Let's dive in. We will start our tutorial by creating a sleek modern sofa concept using Leonardo.AI. In Leonardo.AI website, we will add a simple prompt asking Leonardo.AI to create a sleek, modern, trendy sofa concept design. I am using Phoenix 1 model preset in dynamic style. After a few generated designs, I choose this one. It is sleek, modern, trendy, and challenging at the same time. Now let's download our concept design as a JPEG file. And now we want to convert this concept design into a basic 3D model. And to do so, we will use Tripo.AI website. Now we are in Tripo.AI website. And after creating a free account using my Gmail, I will use its free version tool, which allow me to upload a single image containing the model I want to convert into a 3D model. Then Tripo.AI will try to do its best to convert this image into a basic 3D model. Now let's upload our image by pressing on Add Single Image button, and I will select our image. And as you can see, I have cropped the concept image generated by Leonardo.AI to focus on the section containing the model I want to convert into a 3D model. Then press Open, then Generate. As you can see, Tripo.AI is trying to do its best to convert our uploaded image into a basic 3D model. As you can see, Tripo.AI has turned our sofa image into a simple 3D model. It's basic, akin to budget game assets, but it is sufficient for blocking out our high-quality model in 3ds Max. Now let's download our model, and it will be downloaded in GLB format. Since we cannot import a GLB model into 3ds Max, we need to convert this model from GLB to OBJ format. And to do so, we will use the free conversion tool in Convert3D website. Now we are in convert3d.org website, and we will convert our model from GLB to OBJ format. Let's select our model, our GLB model, like this. And now it will be converted from GLB to OBJ. Now let's download our OBJ model. And now we are ready to import our simple 3D model into 3ds Max. Now we are in 3ds Max, and let's import our OBJ sofa model. From File, Import. Then we will select our OBJ file and import. Now let's check the size of our simple sofa model. From Utilities, Measure, and let's go to the right view. As you can see, the sofa height is 0.39 centimeter, and the standard sofa height range between 70 and 90 centimeter. So we need to increase the size of our simple sofa model until the sofa height reaches about 80-85 centimeter. And to do so, let's go to the Uniform Scale button, right click, and let's increase our simple sofa model size by 22,000%, like this. Let's zoom in and let's disable the grid by pressing shortcut G. And as you can see now, the sofa height is 85.7 centimeter. Now we can use our simple sofa model to start modeling our high quality model. But first, let's add a symmetry modifier to our simple sofa model. So from the modify panel, we will add a symmetry modifier, and I will make the symmetry across the y-axis, and I will enable the flip option since I like this curvature here in the sofa's arm, which is very similar to that in our concept sofa design. Now we are ready to start modeling our high quality sofa model. I will start by adjusting the orientation of our simple sofa model. So I will go to the top view and I will enable the angle snap by pressing shortcut A, and I will rotate our sofa model 90 degrees like this. Now the front view of our simple sofa model will be facing the front view of our viewport. Now let's create a rectangular spline like this, and I will go to the top view and I will move it in front of our sofa model. Then right click and convert to editable spline. Then I will go to the segment mode by pressing shortcut 2, and I will start adjusting the position of these segments until they touches the sides of our sofa model like this. Then I will select this segment, delete it. Then I will select this segment again and I will divide it in the center by a single vertex like this. Then I will select this side and delete it. Now let's go to the vertex mode by pressing shortcut 1, Ctrl A to select all vertices, then right click and convert them into corner vertices. Then I will select this vertex and I will move it a little bit like this. And this vertex will move it a little bit like this. Then I will select this vertex again and I will fillet it by 25. Then I will reduce the interpolation step of our spline from 6 to 3, and let's go to the left view. In left view, let's move our spline like this, rotate it by 10 degrees like this. Then we will add an extrude modifier to our spline. Alt Q to isolate it. Then we will add an editable poly modifier to it. Then I will start adjusting the position of these vertices along the y-axis after enabling the snap option by pressing shortcut S. Then exit the isolation mode. Then I will move these vertices backward like this. Then manually I will start adjusting the position of these vertices until they follow the curvature of the back of our simple sofa model, like this. Then we will go to the edge mode by pressing shortcut 2. Then I will select these two edges, right click, connect, then go to the vertex mode and I will adjust the position of this vertex like this. Now to the front view, and I will select our object like this, go to the edge mode and I will adjust the position of this edge a little bit like this. Go to the vertex mode and I will select this vertex and I will apply a symmetry modifier across the x-axis and I will enable the flip option like this. Now we want to close the back of our sofa model, and to do so, let's isolate our object and let's add an editable poly modifier to it. Now let's go to the edge mode and I will select this edge, Control backspace to delete it. Then double click on this edge to select this loop of edges, then deselect this edge and I will use the bridge option. And as you can see now, we have closed the back of our sofa model. Now let's exit the isolation mode and let's add a turbo smooth modifier to our object, and I will increase the iteration to 2 And as you can see, we still need some support segments at the back of our sofa model. And to do so, let's disable our turbo smooth, go to the editor poly layer and go to the edge mode, and I will select this ring of edges. Then let's enable our turbo smooth again and right click connect, and I will connect them with 2 segments, and I will increase the pinch between them to 15. Then press OK, and as you can see now, the shape of the outer layer of our sofa model is almost done. Now let's isolate our object and let's reduce the turbo smooth iteration to 1, and let's add a new editable poly layer. Now I will use this object at the base for our sofa model, but first we need to lower its poly count to create a low poly model. And to do so, let's go to the left view and go to the edge mode, and I will select this group of edge loops like this. Then Control backspace to delete them. And as you can see, we have created a low poly model, which will serve as a base for our sofa project. Now let's go to the polygon mode by pressing shortcut 4, and let's go to the top view, and I will delete this half. And I will complete the modeling process on this half, and then we will use a symmetry modifier. And now let's exit the iteration mode. And now we want to model the curvature in the arms of our sofa. But first, let's select our object, press Alt X to enable the see-through option, and let's model the curvature of the arms of our sofa. And now let's go to the vertex mode, enable constraint to edge, and let's adjust the position of this vertex here like this, and this vertex here like this. I will also adjust the position of this vertex here to follow the curvature of the arm. Now let's add a new turbo smooth modifier, and as you can see, we still need an extra vertex in this area here to complete the curvature of the arm. And to do so, let's go to the editable poly layer, disable our turbo smooth, and disable constraint to edge, and we will add a new edge loop using swift loop. I want to add a new edge loop in this area here. I will add it while pressing shift to preserve the curvature of our object. Now back to the vertex mode, enable constraint to edge and disable the swift loop. And now let's adjust the position of this vertex here like this, and now let's enable our turbo smooth. And as you can see, we have finished modeling the curvature of the arm of the sofa. Now we need to do some topology cleaning to our object, so let's isolate our object and let's disable the turbo smooth. And as you can see, we need to make some topology cleaning so to have a uniform flow of topology across the surface of our object. And to do so, let's go to the editable poly layer, go to the vertex mode, and start adjusting the position of some of the vertices of our object like this. Now go to the top view and exit the isolation mode, and as you can see, we still need to make some adjustment to the corner of our sofa model. So I will select this group of vertices like this, group of vertices, exit the isolation mode, disable constraint to edge, and let's adjust the position of this group of vertices like this. Then I will select this group of vertices and let's adjust their position like this. Then I will select this group of vertices and let's adjust their position like this. And finally, this group of vertices and let's adjust their position like this. Now to the left view. And we will add an extra edge loop in this area here using the swift loop option while pressing shift to preserve the curvature of our object. Then let's go to the vertex mode and enable constraint to edge, and let's adjust the position of this vertex here. Now to the perspective view, and as you can see, I want a uniform flow of vertices across this edge loop. And to do so, I will select this vertex and I will start manually adjust its position like this until we have a uniform flow of vertices across this edge loop like this. Now let's enable our turbo smooth and let's exit the see-through option by pressing Alt X. And now let's go to the editable polylayer and select this vertex, and let's add a symmetry modifier across the x-axis and enable the flip option. And as you can see now, the modeling process of the outer layer of our sofa model is done. Now let's exit the isolation mode and let's isolate our simple sofa model. And as you can see, our sofa consists of a leather outer layer followed by a velvet layer. And to do so, let's select our object and let's delete the turbo smooth modifier layer and let's add a shell modifier layer. The inner amount is 3 cm, the outer amount is 0 cm, and the number of segment is 2 to add an extra edge loop in the middle like this. Now let's add a new turbo smooth modifier, and as you can see, now we have a smooth transition in this corner here. I want this corner to have a sharper transition, and to do so, let's disable our turbo smooth and let's add a new editable poly layer after the shell modifier layer. Then I will select this ring of edges, right click and connect with a single segment like this. Now let's enable our turbo smooth modifier, and now as you can see, we have a sharper transition at this area here, and if we increase the iteration, it will be more obvious. Let's reduce the iteration to 1 again. And now let's model the velvet layer. First, I will delete our turbo smooth modifier, then I will go to the edge mode and I will select this loop of edges and this loop of edges. Then right click and split. Now we have divided our object into an inner part and an outer part. Then I will go to select by element and I will select the inner part. Now to the polygon mode and right click and insert. And the amount of insertion will be 0.5 centimeter and press OK. Then right click again and extrude. And the amount of extrusion will be 10 centimeter and the type of extrusion will be local normal. Press OK. And now let's apply a new turbo smooth modifier. And as you can see, now we have a soft corner at both corners. But we need this corner to be a sharp corner and this corner to be a soft corner. And to do so, back to our editable poly layer. Then I will go to the polygon mode and I will select this loop of polygons. Right click and extrude. And the amount of extrusion will be 1 centimeter. Then press OK. Now, when we apply our turbo smooth modifier, as you can see, now we have sharp corner at both corners, but we need this corner to have a soft transition. And to do so, back to our editable poly layer, go to the edge mode and I will select this loop of edges and this loop of edges, control backspace to delete them. Now back to our turbo smooth modifier, and as you can see, now we have a sharp transition at this corner and a soft transition at this corner. Now we need to wield both the inner and the outer part of our object. So I will go to the vertex mode, Control A to select all vertices, then right click and weld. Now let's apply our turbo smooth modifier, and as you can see, the sofa is starting to take its final shape and the main body of our sofa is almost done. And now let's add the fine details to the main body of the sofa. But first, let's isolate our simple sofa model. And as you can see, we have tight seam lines at the corner of the sofa, and we have a wide seam line at the center of the sofa. And to model these seam lines, first, I will go to the editable poly layer. And I want to make sure that we have a uniform flow of vertices along this edge loop. So we'll go to the vertex mode, enable constraint to edge, and we'll start adjusting the position of some of these vertices until we are sure that we have a uniform flow of vertices along this edge loop like this. And now I will select any vertex at the center of the sofa and we will apply a new symmetry modifier along the x-axis and enable the flip option. Now we'll add a new editable poly layer and back to our turbo smooth modifier. And to add the fine details, we need a high poly count model. So we will increase the iteration of our turbo smooth to 2. Then we will apply a new editable poly layer. Now in the edge mode, let's select this edge loop, and I will also select this edge loop like this. And now right click and extrude. And the amount of extrusion will be negative 0.3 and the width will be 0.1, so 0.1, so to have a tight seam line. Press OK. Now I will select this loop of this edge loop and this edge loop like this, right click and chamfer, and the amount of chamfer will be 0.1, and that to make sure that we will have a tight seam line and it will be as tight as possible. Press OK. And now let's add our final turbo smooth. And as you can see, we have modeled the tight seam lines at the corners of our sofa. Now we still need to model the wide seam line at the center of the sofa. So back to the editable poly layer, go to edge mode, and let's select this edge loop at the center of the sofa. From the top view, we'll deselect this part, then right click and extrude. The amount of extrusion will be negative 0.6 and the width will be 0.7 because we want a wide seam line at the center. Press OK and we'll select this edge loop, right click and chamfer, and the amount of chamfer this time will be 0.8 to make sure that we will have a wide seam line. Press OK. And now let's apply our final turbo smooth. And as you can see, we have finished modeling the wide seam line at the center of the sofa and the tight seam lines at the corner of the sofa. And now we have finished modeling the main body of our sofa. Now let's model the sofa cushion, but first let's isolate our simple sofa model. And as you can see, the sofa cushion has a curve on the side which follows the curve of the sofa arm. So let's isolate our sofa model, Ctrl V to copy it, isolate the copy, and I will delete all the layer above the low poly model layer. Now I will select the edit poly layer, right click and collapse to. We will extract the seed cushion from the low poly model. So let's go to the edge mode and I will select this edge loop and this edge loop, right click and split. Now go to select by element and I will select the outer part and delete it. Now let's go back to the edge mode and select this edge loop, and before we split it we will make some topology cleaning. So we'll go to the vertex mode, enable constraint to edge, then I will select this group of vertices like this, right click on non-uniform scale and right click on the y-axis. Now all the vertices are aligned to the y-axis. Enable snap option by pressing shortcut S and adjust their position to snap with this vertex here. Same process, I will select this group of vertices, then non-uniform scale and right click on the y-axis and snap their position to this vertex. Now back to the edge mode, select this edge loop, right click and split. Now go to select by element and let's delete this part. Now let's go to the top view and let's center our pivot point to the center of the object. This. Then let's go to the polygon mode and I will select this side, delete it. Then I will go to the vertex mode and disable constraint to edge, and I will move these vertices a little bit like this. Now let's make some topology cleaning to our object. First I will select all of these vertices, enable constraint to edge, right click on non-uniform scale and right click on the x-axis to align them to the x-axis like this. Also I will select this group of vertices, non-uniform scale, along the right click on the x-axis like this. I will snap them to that vertex. I will manually adjust the position of some of these vertices just to have a uniform flow of vertices like this. Then I will select this group of vertices, non-uniform scale, along the y-axis. Then I will snap them, enable snapping by pressing shortcut S, and will snap them to this vertex here. Although I will try adjusting the position of some of these vertices just to have a uniform flow. Then I will select this group of vertices, move them a little bit like this, and this group of vertices like this. Then I will select this group of vertices, non-uniform scale, along the y-axis, right click on the y-axis. Then I will move them a little bit like this. Now disable constraint to edge and I will adjust the position of these vertices by snapping them to this vertex like this. Now let's go to the edge mode and let's select this group of edges and this group of edges like this, and we'll extrude them along the z-axis while pressing shift, move along the z-axis and snap them to the first vertex like this, then again snap them to the second vertex like this, then again to the last vertex like this. Now go to the polygon mode, select all, right click and flip normal. Then go to the vertex mode and let's use target weld to weld these vertices together like this. and these vertices together like this. Now let's go to the border mode by pressing shortcut 3, and let's select this border, right click, tap to close the hole, then go to the polygon mode, select this polygon, non-uniform scale, press shift and scale it down like this. Now go to top view, go to the vertex mode, and let's connect these vertices together like this, and these vertices together like this. And now let's use the cut tool to connect these vertices together, so to have a complete quad model like this. Perfect. Let's add a turbo smooth modifier and let's increase the iteration to 2. As you can see, I want these two corners to be sharper. To do so, let's go to the editable poly layer and let's select this group of edges, this, enable constraint to edge, and let's move them closer to the edge corner like this. Also, we'll select this group of edges and move them closer to the edge corner like this. Then I will go to the vertex mode and I will move these vertices closer to the edge corner like this. Like this. And finally, I will also select this group of vertices and move them closer to the edge corner like this. Now let's apply our turbo smooth, and now as you can see, these two corners become sharper. Now we want our pillow to be fluffier, so go to the polygon mode, select this group of polygons, disable constraint to edge, and let's move this group of polygon in the Z direction like this. Now let's apply our turbo smooth. Let's exit the isolation mode and let's select all our objects, isolate them. Let's increase the iteration of our seed cushion, and as you can see, our seed cushion is starting to take its final shape. Now let's add piping to our seat cushion, but first let's isolate our simple sofa model, and as you can see, our seat cushion has piping in the top and the bottom of the cushion. And to do so, let's select our seat cushion, go to the front view, and let's add a new editable poly layer over our turbo smooth. Now let's go to the edge mode, and I will select this edge loop and this edge loop, right click and create shape, linear, press OK. Now let's select our shape like this, and let's enable in render, enable in viewport, and as you can see, now we have created the piping of our seat cushion. Let's give them a unicolor like this, and let's group them in a single group like this. Now let's exit the isolation mode and let's select all our objects, go to top view, select our seat cushion, then mirror. I will mirror it in the x-axis and as an instance. Press OK. Let's move our instance aside like this. And as you can see now, our seat cushion is done. Before we finalize the modeling, I want to address something. I want this corner here in the main body of the sofa to be sharper. Let's isolate the main body of the sofa. And I want this corner to be sharper. And to do so, and since we are using a non-destructive workflow, I will disable all the layers above the low poly model layer. Then I will go to the edge mode and I will select this group of edges and I will move them closer to the edge corner like this. Then I will go to the vertex mode and I will select these two vertices and move them closer to the edge corner like this, and these two vertices and move them closer to the edge corner like this. And by doing so, we will have a uniform transition between the soft and the sharp corners. Now let's enable all the layers above the low poly model layer, and as you can see, we have created our sharp corner. And since we are using a non-destructive workflow, we were able to modify our model without compromising its integrity. Now let's exit the isolation mode and let's select all our modeled objects, isolate them, and as you can see, our sofa model is almost done. And finally, let's model the sofa legs. The standard height between the top of the seat cushion and the floor range between 40 and 50 centimeters. So let's create a new rectangular spline like this, which will act as an assistant rectangular spline to determine the height. And let's move it to the front of our sofa like this. And now let's adjust its height to 50 centimeters. And now let's adjust its position like this. And let's create a new rectangular spline. Let's enable the snap option by pressing shortcut S, and we'll create a new rectangular spline between this point and the bottom of our sofa. The height of this rectangular spline is about 24 centimeters. So the height of the sofa leg will be 24 centimeters. Now let's delete our assistant rectangular splines. To model the sofa leg, we will use the cone in the geometry tab. So let's create a new cone like this. Let's rotate it 90 degrees like this. Then let's increase its height to about 24 centimeters. The radius of the bottom 1.2 centimeters and the radius of the top 2 centimeters. Now let's create a new reference rectangular spline like this, and we'll adjust its height to 24 centimeters, and let's move it into position by snapping it to the bottom of our sofa like this, and let's snap our cone to the bottom of our reference rectangular spline. Then let's rotate the cone 15 degrees like this. Then let's increase its height to 26 centimeters. Then I will move its position slightly downward like this. Then I will add a new editable poly layer, go to the edge mode, and I will use the slice plane option. Now let's rotate our plane like this. Then I will snap its position to the bottom of our reference rectangular spline, then enable the split option and slice. Now let's go to select by element by pressing shortcut 5, select this part, delete it. And now let's select our reference rectangular spline, delete it, and as you can see, now we have finished modeling our sofa leg. And finally, let's create the rest of the sofa legs and put them in position. So press V, go to the bottom view, and let's select our sofa leg, move it in position like this, then shift drag to make a copy, and I will rotate this copy about 30 degrees like this and move it in position like this. Then I will select both legs, shift drag to make a copy, then mirror them in the x-axis like this and move them in position. And let's go to the perspective view. And as you can see, we have finished the modeling process of the sofa legs, and the modeling process of our sleek modern sofa is done. This is the end of part 1. If you enjoyed it, show some love by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Your support means the world to me and inspire me to create more awesome content for you. Can't wait to see you in part 2 for the texturing process. Thanks for watching.